Good morning, class, the receiving schools and teachers.
Good morning, Mrs. Watlagas.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you. And how are you this morning?
I'm very well, just like you all. Thank you. You may be seated. Now let's have a look once again at one of the three pillowcases we looked at in the previous lesson. Okay, this is one of the pillowcases that we looked at in the previous lesson. This is outside of the pillowcase, outside. Now, I'd like us to watch and see how it looks like from the inside. Now, our friends who are sitting in front, group 2, can see it much clearer than our friends at the back. Now, if I can have Brendan to tell us how it looks like from the inside.
The inside is brighter than the outside.
The inside is brighter than the outside. Anything else, Jennifer? Anything else?
The stitching.
Okay, the inside has been stitched. How was the stitching done? All around. Hayano. How was this stitching done?
By a sewing machine.
By a sewing machine. So, by sewing. Using a sewing machine. Now, we can also, we either use sewing machine or use what? Violet? We either use a sewing machine like Hayano has said, or
Hand sew it.
by
Hand sewing it.
with our hands, hand sewing. So it can be done using a sewing machine or by hand. Now we look once again at what sewing is. We look once again at what sewing is. I'd like all of us to read once again what sewing is. What is sewing?
Sewing is a process of stitching pieces of fabric together with a needle and a thread by hand or a sewing machine.
Very good. Now, let's look once again at our pillowcase. This is the smallest of the three we saw in the previous lesson. A pillowcase. This is a pillowcase. Now, what is a pillowcase used for? What is a pillowcase used for? Paul?
To cover pillows to prevent death.
We use it to cover our pillows to prevent dirt or dust, prevent them from getting dirty. Let's read once again what a pillowcase is basically used for. We got the answer from our friend Paul, and we will look again to see what a pillowcase is used for. Let's read together. A pillowcase in that definition there, what is soiling? Yeah. Tuarik, if we can have you.
Dirty.
Okay, soiling, another word for dirt, or making it dirty. Now, I have something here with me. What do I have? All class? It's a key. A key on a key tag. But the most important part of it is not the tag, but the key. Now, 2 days ago, the only key that we had to this whole room went missing, and that caused a lot of inconvenience. One of the examples of that inconvenience was that we were all using the door that we were not supposed to use. Now that is a disadvantage. That is a disadvantage of not using or having a key. When we don't have a key to our room, we cannot be able to what? Helen, when we don't have a key to our room,
You don't get in.
you won't be able to get in. That's a disadvantage of not having a key or using a key. Anybody who can give us an example of another disadvantage of not having a key? Helen gave us one. We cannot get into the room. That's one disadvantage. Any? Tulanga?
We cannot lock it.
We cannot.
Lock it. Lock it.
You cannot lock the door, so the door stays open. Very good. Now, what about advantage? Something good about having a key. Something good about having a key. Adrian?
You get to open the door.
You can
Open the door.
open the door. You can open the door and get into the building or the house. Can we have another one? From group 6. One from group 6. One advantage.
You get to lock whatever you have stored inside the room.
Whatever
You've stored inside the room.
Whatever you have stored inside the room is safe, is it? Nobody can take it out. Very good. So we've just looked at an example of advantage and disadvantage of having a key to a building or a room. Now, our activity for this morning will have something like that example we've just done with a key. And we are still talking about what, class? A pillowcase. Now I'd like groups 1, 2, and 3 to read for us the activity that we are about to do.
In group
discuss and list the advantages and disadvantages of using a pillowcase. Now, when you get your paper should be laid out like that. Just have your paper rolled out like that, and you have the advantages, disadvantages, and as it says there, you are to discuss as a group, and you list down some good things about using pillowcases and some things that are not good if you don't use a pillowcase. Now, if you can try to have one for each one of them, one advantage, one disadvantage. Please write it in marker. Oh, you have your marker there, thank you. You have one there. Okay, thank you. Do you have a marker to write with? No. Okay. You are all supposed to be discussing. Do you have a marker? Oh, you got one there. Let's highlight that. One each, one of each. One advantage and one disadvantage will be enough. Thank you. Please, I'd like you to write it big. You make your letters big or your writing big. Just one advantage and one disadvantage. Talk about it. You can talk about it. What's good? What is one good thing about using a pillowcase? And one not good about not using a pillowcase. Or one not good about not using a pillowcase is disadvantage. When you don't use a pillowcase, what happens? That's a disadvantage. You came up with your what already? Oh, that's good. So when you write it big, so it can be seen by everybody in the classroom when you are doing a presentation. Have you all come up with your, okay, you have advantage there, the pillow doesn't get dirty, it makes the room tidy. Or you could say it makes the room look neat. Okay, leave and write neat. Okay. So, and your disadvantage, do you have it? What's your disadvantage? You won't be able to cover the pillow. Okay, let's see. One disadvantage. Okay, see, one disadvantage. If you don't use the pillowcase, what happens? If you don't use the pillowcase to cover the pillow, what happens? That is a disadvantage. So if you are thinking of one disadvantage and you think about when you don't use a pillowcase, what happens? Have that one written as your disadvantage. Have you come up with your advantages and disadvantages already? What is good about using a pillowcase and what is not good about not using a pillowcase? Okay. have yours there. Thank you. Let's see yours. P-R-E-V-E-E. Okay, so you have your what now? Clean. It keeps the pillow. Get that one out. Clean. That's it. Good. Get somebody ready to present your what? Prevents death. Any disadvantage? Use the same pillowcase. You will get sick. Oh, okay, that's a good. What was a disadvantage? So move ahead quickly, get it done. To make it John, ingat juga mungkin Miss Godua na talking me like magnet and this layer magnet me like Falkland. Go so me like Falkland. Untap. Go outside or send untap. Untap office na Amelia. Okay, it's only one each. We are all to have one advantage and one disadvantage, so we should all have that now. Now I'd like you to have one person from your group to come up with your paper and present what you and your friends have done together in a group. So group 2 get ready as group 1 comes up. When group 2s are here, group 3 should be ready. One person from each group. Okay, we have group 1. Come up with your paper here. Okay. Come. Stand on this side. Okay, wait first. Okay, if I can have everyone, group 1s are ready to present what they have together with us.
The advantage of the pillowcase is keep the pillow clean, and the disadvantage of the pillowcase is without a pillowcase, the pillow gets dirty.
Okay, thank you. That carry on. Disadvantage already. Okay, thank you. Leave the paper. Group 2, leave it there. Stand on this side. Stand on this side. Okay.
The advantage about it is to make it look attractive, and the disadvantage is when it's dirty, it's hard to wash the
Very
pillow.
good. Very good, thank you. Group 3. Come to this side. You come to this side.
The advantage of pillow having a pillowcase is the pillow, it prevents the pillow from getting dirty, and the disadvantage is if a pillow doesn't have a pillowcase, it can easily get dirty.
Good, thank you. Group 4. Get ready to move up. Is that okay?
The advantage of a pillowcase is the pillow doesn't get dirty. It makes the room look neat. The disadvantages are the pillow will get dirty. It makes the room look untidy.
Good, thank you. Group 5. Stand over here.
The advantage of a pillowcase is it prevents dirt from the pillow, and the disadvantage, a pillow without a pillow stinks. And a pillow without a pillowcase stinks.
Let's have group 6. That's a big, nice, big writing. Okay, stand here over here.
Okay, the advantage about the pillow is to prevent the pillow from getting dirty, and the advantage is the pillow gets dirty and smelly.
Good, thank you. Okay, we have the last group, group 7. You use the mic here. Come over here.
Good morning. Sorry. Good morning, class, receiving schools and our teachers. With a great group 7s, we talked about the advantages and disadvantages about the pillowcases. The first one is prevents dirt from getting on the pillow, and the disadvantages of the pillowcase is it's not good using the same pillowcase because you'll have lice or dirt on your hair. Dirt on your hair is I'm referring to dandruffs. That's all. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay, so we have that. Now, we've just gone through completed activity on the advantages and disadvantages, and we have all come up with a variety of answers. Commonly, we all said it prevents the pillow from getting dirty. Now, one group also said a good disadvantage there, that when we use the same pillowcase, we will get lice, probably from the person who used it earlier, or dandruffs. Okay. Now, pillowcases, just like our friends from Group 7 have said, when we use the same pillowcase, we can get lice from the person who used it earlier, or get dandruffs. So in there, it reminds us that we have to make sure pillowcases are washed regularly, that we use clean pillowcases. And if somebody has used a pillowcase, and if that person moves out, then when the next person is going to use the pillowcase must be a clean pillowcase. Okay? Now, I'd like all of us to read together what we will be learning in the next lesson. We'll all read together.
In the next lesson, we will be learning about names of sewing equipment and their uses, and be able to work out an action plan for the sewing of the pillowcase.
So what are we going to learn in the next lesson, Hayano? What are we going to learn in the next lesson?
Names of sewing equipment.
Names of sewing equipment. That's homework for you. Maybe when you go home, you can look around for that. Okay. Now, our keyword is, we'll all read together. Our keyword? Advantages and disadvantages of using a pillowcase. Very good. Thank you all. Thank you to the receiving schools and to the teachers. And you all have a nice day.
You're welcome, Mrs. Fernandez. And thank you for your lessons.
Okay, thank you all.